Number one, most exciting news of the week for sure for Xbox fans is they look to keep fans satiated this month throughout 3 different showcases. One has already happened, which is the ID at Xbox Twitch gaming stream. It also happens to be the second one they've done this year, and it presented a variety of indie titles coming to Xbox Game Pass, such as Artful Escape, Library of Arena, The Veil, The Big Con, Paparazzi, shout out to this one, Evil Genius 2, and Stardew Valley. Deeper in the month will be Xbox's Gamescom 2021 showcase, which will serve as a sequel to the Xbox Gameplay Showcase Extended in a manner of speaking. This means no new announcements and only in-depth updates on games we already know about. The post did not specify which games those were and defined it as, quote, Xbox Game Studios titles alongside some of our third-party partners, including some of the incredible titles coming to Xbox this holiday, upcoming releases to our monthly subscription service, Xbox Game Pass, and much more, end quote. The show will start on August 21st at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Bethesda Germany will be holding a stream of their own starting on August 26th. Last but not least, as I just mentioned, Bethesda will be holding their own show via a digitized QuakeCon starting August 19th. BethesdaNet writes the convention will, quote, hold presentations, tournaments, panels, exhibits, and sneak peeks of Bethesda's upcoming titles and announcements, end quote. So this certainly looks to be in the end of August, a loud month for Xbox and companies beneath Xbox. Where do we want to start? We already had ID at Xbox. Did you guys check that one out?
Yeah, I watched it. If I'll jump in on that one if you guys want me to.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, it was actually pretty decent. I mean, shout out to was it Blind Guy Steve, and I think got the chick's name with Strawberry.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it was actually pretty decent. I had a couple of gems in there for me. I was surprised. You know what I mean? I'm a big stealth guy, ninjas, so I wanted to know what was going on with Origami too. You know, I wanted to see what's going on with that. For you, Maddie, they had one, I was thinking about it. They had one, it's called Ollie World or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I was like, skateboarding. This is him. The art style was colorful. It looked really cool. A lot of customization. That was cool. The Veil was interesting because it was like for people who are disabled, who are blind. And the whole game, I guess, is done through audio. And it sounded very unique. I got to see the execution. The premise of it was dope. And the other one was this joint called Inked. That looked dark. Because at first it started like with little QT kind of characters. And I'm like, all right, looks cool. And then like nice art style.
Yeah.
And then like this hand, like a fourth wall is broke. And the hand where the artist is like grabbing the characters and throwing them in and killing them. I'm like, yo, what is going on with this game? Like it got very dark. So I don't know what's going on there. And the last point I would say is Sarah Bond, she actually was on there. And she had a great piece, a great interview talking about kind of what we talked about as far as indie developers, how Xbox is going out their way as far as to making the tools, the ease of use to onboard them into the ecosystem.
Yeah.
I thought that was really interesting. She was talking about like how, you know, the indies and the relationship with Game Pass, and I noticed that when they're in there, 40% more, they're likely to play more games, engage in other games, stuff like that. So they're really going all in with the whole ID at Xbox program, Chris Charles and those. And I thought that interview was very significant, how they're going all out their power to kind of get people in. But I definitely wanted to talk about the indie showcase. I know everybody will get into it.
What do you make of how Sarah Bond approached talking about the ID at Xbox program? She was like, oh, it's easy to sign up. I think it was one of those situations again. Remember when I said like Xbox has the most narrative games they've ever had in their history? The way Phil and Matt Booty were talking to the press, and same way that Satya Nadella was saying Xbox is all in on gaming. It was a message that was, I put this in quotes, for fans. Yes. But I think it was beyond that. There was another layer. And I felt like with Sarah Bond, when you look at what was happening recently with PlayStation, where their communication line has sort of been exposed as being something much more ancient, indie devs are really speaking up. You've got Xbox doing their second ID at Xbox showcase, putting these games on a platform. Once again, these games are getting past the finish line in help because of ID at Xbox. And they're just saying, oh, it's an easy sign up. It was a sales pitch, right?
Yeah,
it was a sales pitch.
She was in a bag because she, like, besides the SDK, the certification process, getting them the tools and things they need, the constant communication, then also with the storefront mentioning about being in, when you're in a Game Pass and being able to have that type of engagement next to the other bigger titles. And this is stuff we've been talking about, right? So it's like they're going all out and doubling down on the fact that the ease of access, if you're an indie, you need to be with us because and diversity of titles, right?
Yeah.
All these different genres. They were promoting hard on that aspect.
Yep.
So it was interesting to see them show up on that platform, on Twitch, on that Twitch stream.
Yeah, absolutely. Rand, did you get a chance to check out ID at Xbox's latest stream?
I checked out the greatest hits.
Okay.
After the last one went 4 hours or something.
I'm
not a fan of the presentation that they decided to do for these. It's too long. Mm-hmm. I prefer what they did in 2019, where it was kind of just a 20-minute video with some gameplay with the developers talking over it. I preferred like the Nintendo Indie Direct that they, Nintendo did today. Like, I feel like that's a much better way to present it. Like, I'm just not interested in watching 3 hours or 2 hours of something. I don't have a lot of time. We're all busy. It's just like, so basically I waited to the end and I read the Xbox Newswire listing and I watched the trailers for the stuff. I'm really interested in the Artful Escape. But I'm just not a fan of that presentation. I understand why they go with Twitch, big platform, probably gets a lot of eyes on it and stuff like that. But I'm not a fan of that presentation.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. I'm so glad you brought it up. I'll talk about the games in a sec, but I think they need to overhaul and cut Twitch out of this picture immediately. I just think, if I can speak very candidly, I just think there's a little too much. It's no disrespect to the host, I'm sorry, but there's a little too much fake hype for my taste. Little too much like cookie cutter, overzealous, like, oh my God. I'm like, dude, like, you're hurting the games. You don't get it, but you're hurting the games because now you've got this bloated showcase. There was, a decent amount of games there, and it was the same stories last time. None of these games, in my opinion, looked bad. There were some that were not for me, but I was like, these don't look bad. They all look great, unique. Like, it is exactly what ID Xbox has been representing. And then just in the middle, you've got these either long-winded dev talks. Like, I gotta be real, Stardew Valley one seemed kind of unnecessary. Like, I thought they were warming up to something. They're like, oh, it's Stardew Valley coming out on Game Pass. I'm like, wait, this game came out like what, 2016 or something like that? I don't even know. Like, and it was this 15-minute chat about it. I was thinking like, oh, then maybe they'll say a sequel, a new update, something for Xbox. And it's like, oh, it's coming to Game Pass. What is the pacing of these shows are bad. And it's, the hosts aren't doing a bad job, right? They're just, they're probably being told like, hey, be excited, be positive, be optimistic about everything. But it just comes across disingenuous. And I think it harms what are otherwise great games. Even as someone who I found myself very accepting and understanding, it's like, I was even sitting there like during my stream going like, dude, holy crap. This is getting ridiculous now. And it's a shame because there were games like Paparazzi. Dude, I'm not a Pokemon Snap guy. I slander Pokemon Snap all day. But Paparazzi spoke to my soul. I was like, dude, you can take pictures of dogs.
Take the pictures of the pooches.
Yeah, I was like, dude, what?
He in, Red.
Ollie World, of course. RPG Time looked sick, right? This kid drawing in his notebook, creating his own RPG. The art style was sick. They showed Pathfinder, which was like this CRPG. I mean, they had legit awesome games there. I just think it does not need to be so bloated. Like Rand said, the indie showcase this morning as we record this for Nintendo was about half hour long. They had some shadow drops. Yeah, boom, boom. Exciting. It was just there. And I always say, if you want to do the interviews or the Twitch hosting stuff, do it at the end when people are looking for more.
Fair.
Do it at the end. Don't waste people's time. I feel like they're not respecting people's time with this. So otherwise, decent show, good games in there. I would recommend the greatest hits approach as well. Let's talk about Gamescom. Gentlemen, is this it? Do we see Halo Infinite's release date finally at Gamescom?
You want to go first, Cog, or you want me to go?
Just go for it, man.
This is an interesting question because I feel like, it's on. Here goes Shakespeare barking. You go first. You go first, Cog.
No, I mean we've had these discussions. Like, I mean it's one of those things where it's like late August. We're getting close.
Yeah, time's winding down.
Time's running out. Like, when else are you going to tell us when this thing is going to come out? So I'm gonna say yeah. I'm gonna say yeah. You let us know. You probably have another flight, real soon or scheduled or right now, whatever, one of those moments. And I think maybe you also, as much, I would love another campaign, something. I'll be honest. I would love another little campaign, something. I'm curious to see how confident they are to do that.
Yeah.
Or if they will do just, again, another multiplayer aspect, whether it be big team battle or something else. So I'm gonna confirm. I'm gonna commit to the date. They got to give us the date now because we're getting there, man.
Yeah, I think by that point, right, we're talking August 24th, right? Like we're almost a week out from it being September. Yeah, it's got to be time. It's got to be time at that. I do think Halo's big enough to do it on its own, however, where if they were to do it separately, it would still catch people's attention. But I think if you're doing updates on titles coming this holiday and their Xbox first party studios, I mean, what else? What else are we going to be talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rand, would you be concerned if we do go through Gamescom and there is no Halo Infinite date?
Why you gotta ask a tough question like that?
Because that's what it like. Look, if I had to make a prediction, I think that's the venue to make the announcement. But like you said, Halo's big enough where they could do something in September. Just drop a Twitter post and just boom, have it blow up on social media. Halo Infinite multiplayer, single player coming November 23rd, because it's not even because then is the whole release date discussion. You gotta like, when is Halo Infinite coming? Like we have the we're talking about here. If it's gonna be announced on August 24th, but then when is it actually going to release? There's two separate things here. So there's rumors that Call of Duty is getting announced on the 19th next week, right? Which we had kind of speculated from what Phil Spencer's comments about they know the 3 to 4 week window that Halo's going to release, and they're just kind of waiting. I think they're waiting to see what date COD picks, right?
Yeah.
And if it really is revealed next week,
anything either, man. That's the thing. It is really weird, especially with everything going on with Activision Blizzard. I mean, it just ramps up a little bit where you're like, what are they doing internally right now? What I find so particularly interesting about this is it reminds me of the next gen console release date situation we found ourselves in last year, where it was this pissing match between Sony and Xbox where they were just like, you go first. No, you go first. I'm like, bro, just fucking announce it.
Remember that?
Just announce it, man. Like, what are we getting to? Like September, it felt. I think we got into.
Took a long time,
right? And people were making fair points. They were like, look at what the Switch did. They announced it, and like a couple months later, it was out. I was like, all right, fair, but still, I don't want that shit. Like, I want my date, right? I want my date. I want to know when I can buy this thing. What's interesting is why. Okay, this may sound like a dumb question, but when we look at the genuine situation here, I think it's a little more understandable. COD is always a juggernaut, but why are they intimidated by COD right now when your multiplayer is free?
Here we go. Not afraid of COD talk.
No, not only that, dude, but like they're in such a shitty spot right now. You afraid of them?
Listen.
No way.
Well,
listen. I'm gonna let Ray go. Go ahead, Ray.
It's not that they're afraid of it. It's that Microsoft is also going to benefit from COD. You know, they're a platform, and Phil's talked about how they need Xbox to be a good platform for other titles, and they make a ton of money off of Call of Duty. So it wouldn't be wise to release Call of Duty and then 3 days later release Halo.
Thank you, Rand. Please, right? I'm trying to. I understand my Halo community. I got your chest out. You're feeling it. I understand.
Right now. I'm leading the army right now. I'm on my horse.
Free to play. I'm with y'all. But it's like with me, Rand, and I got to shut up my boy Addy, because we've been the Lords are split down the middle of this. Half are on Maddie's side, half is on
At least they got brothers in arms, right? That's all I want.
King Solver with you. They like, yo, we don't care what Call of Duty's doing. Like, whatever, right? Free to play. We out here and it's good. What? But it's like business sense. Like, just separate a little bit. Find out what they're doing. Give this show a chance to breathe. And like Rand made some beautiful points, right? In reference to, look, they gonna eat off of this on their platform anyway. So, just calm down. I know this is the year they're weak. I understand. Everything looks lined up. They got the controversy in the background. Their house is not in order. I get it.
Bury them, right? That's all I'm saying. Bury them.
Maddie's just like, finish him.
Yeah, right. Like, smoke. I love it.
Halo, Battlefield, and Halo, just drop it.
Yeah, right.
But I get what you're saying though, and I've actually talked to people who feel the same. It's like this Call of Duty's down. Call of Duty, they're in some trouble, you know, like the whole Blizzard Activision thing, the rumors surrounding that Vanguard isn't actually going to be very good. Halo's on the uprise. People are really looking forward to the multiplayer and stuff. Like, just kill COD this year. Just kill it. Like, who cares if they release on the 19th, you release on the 18th, and you just destroy any momentum.
Sound like King.
But you know, Phil's a very diplomatic guy. He runs the platform. He needs to make sure the platform is viable for everybody.
Yeah.
So
no, you're right.
I mean, like that. So that's why, to me, if you look at like Call of Duty, always releases on a Friday, right? Last year they released on November 13th. I think they're going to release this year on November 12th. Right. And I know Xbox probably wants to time the release of Halo Infinite to the 20th anniversary on the 15th in some manner.
Yeah, right.
But I think it would be a bad move to release Halo not only 3 days after Call of Duty, but a week after Forza Horizon 5.
Yeah.
Right. So in my mind, I think Halo launches November 23rd. You get some distance from COD.
Exclusive, y'all. We got the exclusive.
No, this isn't.
Randall Store said it. It's going down.
This is just my prediction. I think it launches on the 23rd. Right. I think they give enough space from COD, enough space from Forza, and that's Black Friday week. You time it with a big restock of Xbox Series X and S, so people not only go to the store to buy the system, Halo's available. So that's what I'm sticking with. And I do... It's tough because I want to say they're going to announce it at Gamescom, the date.
Yeah.
But then I'm kind of with Maddie where like 343 could do a stream in September and then end it by saying Halo's coming on this day. But then I listened to Dustin, who was on Cold Eastwood's show.
Shout out to Dustin.
He said that basically he would be alarmed, and I'm paraphrasing him, that if we went through Gamescom and there was no Halo date, like he'd be a little bit worried that it slip into 2022. And I kind of feel that because I've seen other people say that. So, I mean, I hope we get the date, you know?
It's a good one. Yeah. This is great discussion. I love it all. Go ahead, Maddie. I'll let you go.
No, I was going to say, I guess what also matters, right, is we got to think about the other games that are going to be there. Does Halo, if you announce it at the end, sort of overshadow everything you've just talked about before, where Halo should have its own day to the benefit of those titles, right? That's no disrespect to any of them. Like, I think Forza is going to sell totally fine. It's going to be one of the most downloaded Game Pass games. You can almost guarantee that. But you got to consider what else is a part of the showcase and what you're trying to build up. They mentioned third-party partners, so are we going to hear more about Contraband maybe? Are we going to finally hear... They said no announcements, but just you wonder about that Project Dragon, like what else is in the mix there? I have to consider these other titles that could easily be overshadowed by Halo. Then again, they did just fine at E3. So,
do you really think we'll see anything more from I was going to say Project Typhoon, which is Contraband? Like 2 months after they just revealed it. It's just
that's why
they were tight-lipped, bro. I talked to them and Player One. See, they were so tight-lipped in reference to that. But
I saw your tweet actually. You're like on the hunt for Contraband.
Yeah, bro. I was looking, man. I was like, I need some information. They were well media trained, boy. Let me tell you that. But no, what I was gonna say also, to your point, you guys are making some fantastic points in reference to, should they or shouldn't they, or do they have to release it, right? Because to your point, Halo's so big enough they can announce something separately and then still continue this posturing game as it gets further into November. But the thing I wanted to mention is that there's still a couple of titles that are at the Xbox third-party showcase that kind of disappeared that we don't have any dates from, right? And I want to know, like, what's going on?
Where's the gunk?
The Gaunt, Bright Memory Infinite. Like, those are games I actually were interested in, and we assume we're coming out this year. So for me, that is something I definitely need to know. And, if that's going to be a focus as well with this Gamescom thing. So.
Where's Tunic? Where's Scorn? Right? Where are those other games that I thought might be at the ID at Xbox showcase?
Yes.
But, when you think about it, Gamescom's probably going to be, here's Forza Horizon 5, new trailer, maybe a cover car reveal, because they haven't revealed the car on the cover. When they say third-party partners, I'm thinking like, I don't know, like Back 4 Blood, since they're so heavily co-marketing. Maybe even like Battlefield 2042, stuff like that.
Yeah,
maybe some of the some of the games we just mentioned, like Tunic or the Gunk. I'm not expecting a whole bunch from Gamescom. I mean, Aaron Greenberg did set expectations. You read it in the beginning of the segment, like no major surprises. So basically don't go in expecting Fable or Avowed or Perfect Dark or any of these titles that are announced.
Yeah, they specified this year.
Yeah. So I don't think it's going to be, like here's a brand new game from Xbox Game Studios or whatever. I think it's just going to be like, we're focusing on the stuff coming out at the end of the year. Here's some Game Pass announcements and we're good to go. But the question and the talk online is all going to be about Halo Infinite if they don't deliver a date that day, because people are going to be like, it's in trouble. Mm-hmm. It's in trouble. Sony hasn't said anything about Horizon Forbidden West, and it's rumored to be delayed. Now Xbox isn't saying anything about Halo. Is that delayed to 2022? Like, how this stuff will all go.
I'm going to challenge the audience. I want them to, I'm going to call this a bookmark moment.
Let's go.
Remember this right here. All right. Avowed is going to be at the Game Awards.
Ooh.
I feel it in my balls. All right. Here's why. Obsidian put on the Xbox Wire that they were going to be talking about that game soon. Right. Now they're talking about 2021 games here at QuakeCon, so it ain't going to be there. Or, I'm sorry, not QuakeCon, Gamescom. It's not going to be there. I'm like, what else is there, man? It's got to be. If you're talking about soon,
that's spicy.
I got one for you.
All right.
What about a event for the 20th anniversary of Xbox? Not necessarily the VGAs, although I feel you, and Microsoft and Xbox do love the engagement they do see from the VGAs, which is why there will be something there, whether it's a Kojima game, if they can get it in time, or Avowed. But we got the 20th anniversary coming up for Xbox. I think that would be a great place to show off Avowed gameplay. Maybe a great place to announce Banjo's back. Here's a remake of Banjo 1 or Killer Instinct is back in development. Like something for the fans. You know what I mean? Like that's a total fan service moment, right? You celebrate Xbox, you show something new. But you might be right on that one. But I think they might do something for the 20th anniversary.
I hope so, right? I feel like they will. I know they talked about some type of fan fest. I know they used to have the EXO conferences or fan festivals in I want to say, what was it? September is when they used to throw them?
November. They did, November 2018 was in Mexico, and then 2019 was in the UK. And then obviously nobody's doing in-person events anymore.
Exactly.
I wonder if they try a digitized version of that maybe for a celebration. Just a thought, but